I started playing, like metal. I was like into Metallica, Van Halen, and stuff like that because of my brother. So that kind of stuff is definitely like an influence. But then I got into blues music, jazz. I got into in high school. So my playing is mostly a mix of rock, blues, like the things that influence rock music, hard rock, anything from, Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden, all the way through Stevie Ray Vaughan. Well, my brother was a guitar player. He started when he was probably a teenager. And the way he started was my parents had rented a U-Haul van to move stuff from one house to the other, and he, I guess, found a guitar in the U-Haul, and they contacted them or something, and they found out that it was unclaimed, so he ended up keeping the guitar and playing it. We still have the guitar. But so he got involved with kind of the music scene in the 80s. Not necessarily the scene, but he got really into playing like Van Halen and stuff like that, and all the shred kind of stuff. And then he proceeded, before I was even born, to get into the blues music, the jazz music, stuff that eventually influenced me. So having him around in the house was pretty much how I got into playing guitar. And then he taught me a lot of stuff. And now today we're sort of almost peers in the sense that we jam. We talk about guitar stuff, but he's definitely what got me started. I hear a lot of like blues stuff in my playing. Like even if I'm playing heavy metal stuff, like the heaviest thing I could possibly play, I would still have that bluesy influence. If I'm playing like a super heavy rock solo, like the same kind of stuff, that's what influenced rock music, is blues music. So I hear a lot of that in my own playing. I hear some, I guess some influences from like heavier rock, like Van Halen and stuff, like the harmonics and the tapping sometimes, but not to compare myself with them, but so I guess I hear myself primarily, but any other variation of influences I can hear at any time, I guess. My favorite bands and artists? Well, right now, it varies, it fluctuates, but right now I've been listening to a lot of Yngwie Malmsteen, the Eagles, Iron Maiden, Motorhead, a lot of that right now. But if you're asking me all time, Metallica, Van Halen are definitely big ones. The Eagles are huge. B.B. King. I've listened to a whole lot of different music, and I've gone through phases, but I've never really, of the phases I've gone through musically, the stuff I listened to growing up, I've never really left anything behind. I'm still a fan of all that stuff, whether it be, AC/DC or Led Zeppelin, or something more like jazz, like Herbie Hancock or stuff like that. I still listen to all that stuff. So my favorite bands at any given time could vary, but they never go away. was in high school, I really wanted to be a rock star. And I kind of almost was, there were times when I thought, like, I don't even want to go to college. I want to just go off and play in a band. But I'm really glad I did go to college. Because just growing up, it sort of helped me realize, like, it's not necessarily becoming a rock star that would be, like, the greatest achievement. Whereas, like, a greater achievement would be to have a following of fans, even if it's just a local following of fans who came to see you play every Friday night. Like, that would be as cool as I could possibly think. Or people who like downloading your music, like listening to it. So I almost feel like making a career out of music would ruin it in a sense, because you have to deal with record labels and stuff like that. And of course, I don't even know if I could possibly have a shot at making it. But even if I did, I feel like I wouldn't want to, because having it become my work would sort of throw it off for me. But as far as my achievements right now, I don't really have any specific goals. I just like playing. I write some music, and I'm only as serious as I want to be in any given time, and that's what's nice about not being a professional musician. For a long time in high school, I juggled between a sort of popular joke band where we would write about anything funny and stuff like that, and serious music. And as far as songwriting goes, it generally starts with a riff, an idea, and I'll often, I don't know where it is right now, but I have my cell phone. I'll capture a riff on my cell phone and remember that, and then try to sort of develop it to music. I don't usually write lyrics until I've got music, and I very rarely write good lyrics. I'm not too good at writing lyrics, but music usually starts as a riff or a pattern or, an idea, even if it's just a little something that you want to incorporate into a song, like a little riff, like that can become a song if you really like it, and you're like, okay, that's a funky little thing I just played. So anything can become a song, but I don't really have a specific, I don't sit down and try to write music, because nothing ever happens. Performance, I was probably 13 or 14, and I went to this sort of rock band camp at a local college, and I was really sort of nervous the whole time, like leading up to the performance, because I'd never before had to audition in front of somebody, because they placed us in bands, and we were supposed to come in and play something, and I didn't really know what to play. I was only I was kind of mediocre at the time, but the songs we played were, I think, All Along the Watchtower and a Rolling Stones song that escapes me, but it ended up being a lot of fun, because the way the band camp worked was, you went through the week, you got set up with musicians, the teachers helped you learn songs, and then you played at the end. And so my first performance was of those two songs, a Rolling Stones song that escapes me and All Along the Watchtower, and it was a lot of fun, because it wasn't really a lot of pressure, and it was an experience for me to get up on stage and take a guitar solo. That was really sort of a breakthrough for me. That was the moment, I would say, that I went from just being a kid who was trying to learn guitar to a kid who's actually a guitar player, I think. So in terms of like gigs after that, after my first, I continued going to the band camp, and it went from me being sort of a a learner to the point after I'd gone year after year, I became more advanced and started to help other people. And so in high school, I played in the jazz band in high school. So we played a few times a year. I played at the band camp. I played a few talent shows. And I played with a whole bunch of different bands, from blues music, like our one talent show, we played Crossroads, and we played Voodoo Child with Jimi Hendrix, and I also played and sang a few times, which was scary as hell, but a lot of fun. And since I've been in college, I've only played out, I think, one time, and that was just to support a local singer. But I'd like to get back out there and keep playing at some point. But I've had a lot of great experiences with gigs. This is one of my favorite guitars. This is a Stratocaster Fender Strat. It's Fiesta Red. It's not one you can normally buy in the United States. A guy actually imported it from Japan. It was sold for the Japanese domestic market. And I did my little modifications, which included DiMarzio pickups, which I have in pretty much all my guitars. And it's pretty much like a 60s Strat. It's got not too big of a neck, not too big of a fretboard radius, but it's a little bit curved. Tiny frets, though I prefer big frets in general. I don't mind the tiny frets on this one. It's got the standard vibrato, which is okay if you like to do little wiggles, like. But if you try to dive bomb with it, like, it puts your guitar out of tune. So that's not so cool. But that's just something you get with the Strat. So anyway, yeah, this is a pretty straightforward Strat with a few modifications that I like.